start finish line again.
Well, g'day everyone and welcome to Phillip Island for round 10 of the Talk Creek Racing Touring Car Championship here from on Glacier TV. Will Vincent alongside the guy who won the Grand Am Premier Series race just a couple of days ago, David Ward. And David, I'm going to start off by saying you forgot to say hello to a couple of people on Sunday, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but we can do that later.
Well, we are currently watching the dying moments of qualifying. The V8 supercars on the home turf are currently on qualifying at the moment, and we'll run through in the meantime your Cadillac field. For the time being, that field has been set. Darren Seal will set the pole position time of 1 minute 29.480. Marcelo Mayo will line up alongside him in row number 1. Kevin Viekement in row number 2. Alongside him will be Tara Dalberg. Adam Terry and Andy Kristoff will line up in row number 3. Sean Lees and Nico Brandt will line up in row number 4, with Adam Parle and Ian Mabbott in row 5, Simon Guymer and Chris Partridge in row number 6. And David, this is a very difficult technical track. You got yourself some fast sweeping corners, some tight hairpins. In many ways, it's a bit like Mosport, but you've got yourself two really big braking zones instead of just the one.
Yeah, the biggest braking zone here is going to be going down into, where are we? We're going down into like the first hairpin. That's
turn 4.
Yeah, turn 4. You're pretty much flat out there. Yeah, that's the Honda corner, and you're flat out going into there. The car's already unsettled because the track is quite bumpy, and you're also turning left, trying to get the car straight to take that hairpin right. And then the next one is after Lucky Heights going into turn 9, and that's a downhill braking, so even more difficult. I'm predicting quite a big wreck at that corner, so I hope all the other drivers prove me wrong and they manage to get through it unscathed.
So the checkered flag is out. The Ford drivers are currently having their last lap of qualifying now. If they were on track, you see that a couple of drivers just come out of pit lane just to get themselves one more lap in the books. Andy Griffiths just did that, come back onto the racetrack. Even though he won't be able to set himself a qualifying time, he will just come and get himself one more side slap with race fuel to see whether or not that car is perfectly set up to his needs. One of the Pioneers currently on track, as is Andy Goodison. Fabian J in the 04 machine is on track. And those are the two remaining cars, as they have pretty much got themselves about a minute left before the clock runs out, and these drivers will start to grid.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Darren. I knew after a while he'd get used to the car and he'd work out its little idiosyncrasies that it's got. It's good to see him on pole. Well done, mate.
And I'm going to have to ask you this, Dave, because I know you fought for many championships in the past, and you do so in real life as well. We're approaching the end of the season now, and for some of these drivers, they know where they are in the standings. They know where they need to be around their competitors. Is it a case of just getting wins? Is that out of the question now? Is it almost a case of just finishing strongly, getting that car to the checkered flag and taking it from there?
Yeah, it's you can go for the win, but sometimes championships are so long. So if you can just as long as you're ticking over the points, you know, you're going to be there at the end. I mean, look at when Kimi won his World Championship. No one even thought he would do it. He was in with a points chance, but over the season he was kind of in the background. Yeah, a very, very talented driver, but he just kept ticking over the points, and that's all these guys need to do through the series, and that's what's going to win you championships. You can go balls out at the beginning, but you make a mistake and then you're losing some valuable points.
Well, we've already run ourselves through the Cadillac field. That will be coming up on your screen. Just to remind you momentarily, we'll now run through your V8 supercar field. Rens Broekman, once again, surprise, surprise, second the point in the V8 field, setting a time of 1 minute 32.237. Thomas Van Boosel, a full 7.5 tenths of a second behind in the second position. Peter Ridley will line up in third, Marius Christensen in fourth, Andy Goodison in fifth, Fabian J in fifth, Dave Geimer in the sixth position, Robert Burton in the sixth position, Phil Jocelyn, Danny Bowles, Andy Griffiths, and then, 1 minute, bear with me, Andrew Streetley, William Pioneer and Simon Hill will complete your field, and in the middle of that you got yourself a very slow Roger Cronin, and that's not the time we expect from that number 27 Radicals machine.
No, I think he'll be starting from the pit lane. Okay, well we'll see what happens here. He might not have had a very good setup.
So you don't forget, you can get on touch with us on Twitter. Use the hashtag GlacierTV. We are now waiting for those lights to come on. They will go red first, and once they go green, they'll be racing here at Phillip Island. The lights are on, and they're out, and we're racing here at Phillip Island.
Yeah, one of the drivers, I'm not sure who it was, that was Sean Lees, just pulled over straight onto the grass.
Maybe he wanted to just get himself, you know, a little bit of a breathing space coming down into the first couple of corners. Darren Seattle's already down into turn number 2, the southern loop, as they come around this long 180-degree corner. And we've got ourselves a couple of incidents down towards the rear of the field. I believe Robert Burton and Peter Ridley was involved in incidents as ahead of them. Darren Seattle's coming down into turn number 3, the biggest braking point on the racetrack now. Turn 4, the Honda corner.
Oh my God, we got a big smashed into the side there. That was, sorry to interrupt you there, that was Ken Beckermans, and it was Tero Delbarg. He outbraked himself going into there.
Nasty moment there. Both these drivers looks like they can continue, but it looks as though they just pushed themselves off the racetrack, and as the rest of the field came by, they were very lucky not to spin that car onto the racetrack and cause a multi-car wreck. Because one of the things that we haven't talked about is the fact that this track isn't that wide. It is literally 2, maybe 3 car lengths wide the entire way round, and if you spin that car, you're going to have a humongous impact.
Yeah, it's a really, really tight technical track, as we said earlier. Darren Seale's coming over the line, and he's got himself a nice gap over Marcelo. He's got a half-second gap, which is pretty big in these cars, so if we can keep the pace up, we should see Darren on that top step.
First lap is already completed. Darren Seale is your race leader. Marcelo and Mayo is in the second position. Adam Terry in third. Andy Kayes in fourth. Nico Brandt in fifth. In the Cadillac class, we have got ourselves Sean Lees, Roger Cronin, Kevin Beekmans and Taro Dalberg having incidents early on in the Cadillac field. And then in the V8 supercar class, we have got ourselves Rens Broekman from Thomas Van Boosel, from Fabian J, from Marius Christensen, and then Andy Goodison running out your V8 top 5.
Yeah, and we've got Andy on Terry here. This is the battle on the track to watch at the moment. This is for third place, and Andy is looking awesome. He's really got a nice, well settled car. He's better on the brakes.
And Griffiths is off track, and Streetley, so he's just turned around in his V8 car. So 2 teammates, in fact, involved in incidents at exactly the same time there. So that will be disappointing for them. Sorry to interrupt you there in the V8 class. They will drop pretty much to the rear of the V8 field. However, they won't lose themselves too much time for where they were on track at the slowest point of the race course, down in turn number 4. But that turn 3 through to turn 4 complex, that sweeping left-handed down into the big braking zone of turn number 4 is going to catch a lot of drivers out here today.
Yeah, Honda corners are really, really tough corner. It's a first second gear corner, and it's not just the entry in there, it's actually getting on the power out, where you're going to see a few of the guys later on in the race, once their tyres have heated up, struggling to get the power down, and we might see a few spins as they come out of there, so keep an eye on that.
Andy Kay in the number 43 machine coming under a little bit of pressure there from Nico Brandt in the number 24 machine. Nico Brandt, one of the drivers who can drive pretty much anything and really well at the same time.
Yeah, Andy's really just lost touch with Adam there, and might have heated up the tyres just for that one lap, so just getting back into, just need to settle down and get back into a nice rhythm.
And we saw Anke out for the Grand Am Premier Series this past Sunday. He had himself a couple of issues early on in the race, but that 90-minute race almost saved him there. How was he able to make up for those mistakes and get himself back up from that track position? But here, it is pretty much a sprint race in the flag. We've got ourselves ready, only 27.5 minutes left to go. And one mistake here can put you completely out of contention for getting yourself a top 5 finish.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about endurance racing, is that you can have a couple of spins, not ideal obviously, but you can have a mistake or have an off and be able to claw that all the way back, because 90 minutes racing, it's a long time. This is one mistake here and it's going to cost you big time, so Andy needs to really get on it.
Rog, the number 35 machine making his way through the field. He is in the Cadillac class, got himself a lot of V8 supercars to get around. The number 35 machine, or Sean Lees, who started this race in the 7th position, dropped all the way back to 15th overall. One of the last of the Caddy drivers trying to get his way back through the V8 cars. But as he does so, that car, he's got to be so careful when he tries to overtake the V8s here, because it's not like a track like Daytona or Indy where you've got some big straightaways. Here it is corner after corner, and you really haven't got time to use that horsepower advantage.
Yeah, I'm just getting an update from our spotters. We seem to have missed that Terry has got past Marcelo, so I believe Marcelo made a mistake somewhere, because Darren's got quite a big lead on these guys now, and we got a 3-way battle for 3rd place with Adam, Marcelo and Andy, and Nico isn't too far, so we could end up having a 5-way, even 6-way if Adam can, Adam Paul can get up there.
6 ways always too.
Oh, there's been a spin on the straight. Just need to find out who that is.
Why you did? Marcelo Mayo in the number 9 machine. He dropped all the way back through the field in that number 9 machine after qualifying in the 2nd position. He's going to drop back to at least the 7th position as he comes past the line. In fact, he is going to settle into that 7th position for the time being. But Mayo, who qualified in the 2nd position, we saw him so strong last week at Silverstone, getting a 2nd position there, is now going to have to work his way back through the field. And we haven't talked about Darren Seal that much, but that leader in the number 37 machine, leading the Caddy class, the last about 5 laps of Silverstone, he really came alive. And I think today, I think he's out here to really prove himself in the Touring Car Championship. Yeah,
definitely. After seeing his performance at Silverstone last week, which was an amazing drive, by the way, it's good to see him there at front proving what he can do. But Marcelo, again, coming off turn 12, big long right-hand sweeper, and it's so easy to get the rear tyres spun up trying to exit off there, and it was a classic mistake by Marcelo, unfortunately.
We've had ourselves a bit of a Team Shark teammate moment there involving Phil Jocelyn and one of his teammates as they came down into turn number 4, just getting turned around and almost punted there. In fact, he did get punted by Robert Burton in the number 14 machine. That is not what Team Shark will want to be seeing, as they are having themselves a great campaign here in the V8 class. They're not leading overall, but they're going to try and get themselves up to podium honours. That is not the sort of thing teammates want to be doing this early on in the race.
No, you definitely don't want the want to be punting each other off.
And to go back to Mayo, I feel a bit surprised by him, because what we've seen of him early on in this series, I mean, he has been so good at reacting to pressure and not getting himself onto the grass. But this is in some ways a different track from Silverstone, even though you've got yourself many corners. As you've got yourself Lee off on the racetrack at the moment, he will drop himself a number of positions in that number 35 machine. So he is having himself a terrible day in that number 35 car. Yeah, and he has parked it. He is now out of the race. The radical curse continues. We keep on talking about it. It's almost becoming a tradition here that by the first 5 laps of the race, we're going to have a radical driver pretty much out.
Yeah, that's crazy. Sean Lee's had a great run, and I think he got punted at, just a bit of a door tap at the beginning. But again, he struggled, and Roderick as well. He's not faring too well. The only one out of the radical lot seems to be Andy, who's managed to get up into 3rd place, 2 seconds behind Terry, with Nico Brandt behind him. I think that spin from Marcelo onto the straight kind of opened up that field.
And just as you say that, he put the curse on him as well. Andy Kerrisoff in the number 43 machine is off the racetrack. He's lost himself a position, I believe, to at least Nico Brandt ahead of him. Yes, he will flop back into the 4th position, and Andy Kerrisoff is going to be disappointed with that. Your top 5 momentarily. Darren Seal is leading in the Kelly class from Adam Terry, Nico Brandt in 3rd, Andy Kate in 4th. Simon Guyman running at the top 5, and then in the V8 class it is Rance Brokeman with Thomas Van Boosel right behind him, Andy Goodison in 3rd, Marius Christensen in 4th, Peter Ridley running at the top 5. In the V8 class, however, Rance Brokeman is trying to make it, 10 wins out of 10 now?
Yeah, if anyone can do it, Rens can. But never ever count out Van Boosel. He'll be there till the very end, as we saw at Silverstone. Unfortunately, he was a little bit unlucky, so hopefully this time he can get onto Brockman's bumper. I mean, he's caught him up going into the hairpin there, so let's see how this pans out.
Yeah, and Rance Brokeman, he has won the previous 9 rounds in the Top Gear Racing Touring Car Championship, being the dominant driver in the V8 class, already winning the championship. He has had, though, some great battles with Van Boosel along the way. Let's not take Van Boosel out of the picture. He has done himself a sterling job in this series so far, and it's just been passed on to us that until the last lap we had ourselves a clubbing the 1, 2, 3, and then it all seemed to go away in the middle of the race, which always reminds me, David, of the football there.
Yeah, we didn't do very well in that, did we?
No. And we're currently looking at Simon Guyman in the number 75 machine, currently sat in the 6th position. He has got himself Mosley and Mayo about a second and a half ahead of him, but Adam Kyle and Ian Mabbitt right behind him, within 2 seconds of him as they are coming through now, turn number 5 and 6 on the racetrack. And I have to say, Guyman and that Team Shark machine have really done themselves proud in that Kelly class in this series so far.
Yeah, Simon Guyman is really on it. I mean, he's not too far behind Marcel, but he's got Adam right on his bumper now, so we're going to feel a lot of pressure coming on. I think they're just coming up some. Yeah, and Andy K's dropped back a little bit more, but Simon Guyman's, in fact, Simon Guyman's right behind Andy K now. So there's a 3-way battle between Andy, Simon, and Adam.
And I'm going to take the opportunity in advance to apologise to Andy K for me talking about him negatively too much, but it's just because I watch him so much on these series. But this is similar to what we saw of him at Indianapolis. He had a very bad first 15 minutes of the race and then recovered from there. But how do you find yourself out, David, on a 30-minute race to, adapt that car and just deal with it for a shorter stint as compared to what you've seen with some of these endurance races?
Endurance races, it's a little bit of a different mindset because you know everyone at the beginning isn't going to be trying to win it on the first corner. Having said that, that has happened in some of the races I've been in, but in these sprint races it's so important to make as many positions as quickly as possible, that you do take a lot of risks, whereas in the endurance racing you wouldn't, and you kind of settle yourself down and get into a rhythm quite over a period of time. But in these sprint races you need to be on it from the get-go.
And you talk about rhythm, Darren Seal has got himself a 7.2 second gap last time by over Adam Terry in the number 17 machine. Darren Seal is having the drive of his 12th Geek Racing Touring Car Championship career so far, as he's currently working his way through the first part of the lap. We'd like it to introduce to the booth Frederick Follestad, who had a great performance last week at Silverstone. And Frederick, unfortunately can't race here today, but there's some great battles going on across the field at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm mostly surprised. I'm really impressed by Darren. I was thinking it was going to be between him and Marcelo in the Cadillac class, but I don't know what's going on with Marcelo.
Yeah, I mean, the number 9 machine, I mean, he was so good at Silverstone last week. He's been so good in the series so far. This week it looks like he's having a couple of difficulties in some of these corners, and we're going to go on board Darren Seal this next time past the flag, and perhaps he can just take us through his lap and just show these viewers just where drivers like Mayer and Kirchhoff are having difficulties on this racetrack.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go again. I was on board and this car is so loud.
So yeah, we'll go past the start finish line now. So just take us through a lap of Darren Seal and compare that to the issues that people like Mayer and Kirchhoff has been having on this racetrack here today.
Yeah, it just looks like Darren has cars that are pretty good. He doesn't look nervous, or it doesn't look like he's fighting the car. And I think that's really important on a track like this, because it's so easy, I've done it many times, to be caught out.
And as you see Seal there, going from turn number 3, braking it then down into turn number 4. You've really got yourself your braking point sorted out into turn 4, one of the biggest braking zones on the racetrack. Just for the simple fact that if you outbrake yourself, not only do you lock the tyres and leave yourself a bit of time there, you got yourself some very, very harsh corners on your tyres for your second sector of this racetrack, and you really haven't got anywhere to breathe from turn 5 pretty much all the way through towards the end of the lap.
Yeah, up to after turn 4 and after turn 6, you're pretty much flat out all the way up to Lucky Heights, and then you just, this downhill section here, you're just hard onto the brakes and trying to get the car turned in. It's kind of like on a little bit of a camber, and then you've got to take turn 11 a little bit easy and just let the car drift out. And this turn 12 is so important to get your speed right, because you carry so much speed onto the Gardner Straight. You just got to let the car drift out a little bit. I mean, Darren's looking pretty good now.
And having a look at Van Booster as well, it seems as though he can get himself into that second window of Roger Cronin ahead of him, but then just cannot gain any more time. And on a track like this, with so much high-speed cornering, are these cars susceptible really to that aero drag and that kind of like dirty air stuck behind them?
Oh yeah, definitely. All cars are susceptible to that. You get behind a car and you're going to be using the front tyres a little bit more because you don't have that aero, that grip on the front.
Tell you what, I'm just looking at Marcelo Mayer. I don't know where he had that, but he's got himself some pretty weird wing angles there. He just hit that wall at some point on this lap, just might get into the rear, because his rear bodywork is all completely bent up, but he's still sat in the 4th position, about 4 seconds ahead of Andy Kirchhoff. But Mayo is pretty much driving a wounded car right there in that number 9 machine.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just searching through the field to see if we can get any good battles here. The field seems to be quite spread out at the moment. Thomas Van Boesel's trying to chase down Renz, and it's a little bit to and fro-in. Van Boesel seems stronger in some sections, but then Brockman pulls it out.
And I was just talking about how Mayer had a completely damaged car. In fact, he was just able to get himself around Nico Brandt in that number 24 machine. That last lap, as he comes across the line, he officially moves up into the 3rd position. Now, Nico Brandt, he qualified all the way down in the 8th position, and he was a full 2.5 seconds off the pace in qualifying. I mean, do you guys think that Mayo, who was 2nd in qualifying, currently sat in the 3rd position overall, even though his car is pretty damaged, still has the raw speed on that setup with that driving ability do you think that was the reason why he's able to get around Nico?
Yeah, I don't think the setup was too badly damaged. He's only got a little bit of wing damage. Yes, it does have an effect, but it's not going to be like a F1 or HDP. I'm just watching this battle between Geimer and Adam. It's definitely hotting up. Adam seems to be piling the pressure on, but Geimer's soaking it up.
Adam Park in the number 38 machine, Simon Geimer in the number 75, as we have ourselves less than 10 minutes left to go here at Phillip Island, round 10 of the Talk Racing Touring Car Championship here on Glacier TV. And do not forget that on Saturday we have ourselves... Adam Park goes all the way off. Does he hit the wall? He does hit the wall!
No, I think he just glanced it. I don't think he just glanced it. It wasn't enough to cause too much damage, but yeah, he was going to have a bent spoiler and maybe a steering. That's a shame, that is.
It is a shame, because Parr was really putting pressure on Geimer for that 6th position, and I think that was one of the best drivers we've seen from Parr this season as well. And he just lost it there, and on these high-speed corners, I was talking about Mosport earlier on, and just like turn 2 in Mosport, as soon as you get off the track onto the grass, you have no grip, and it almost is as much of a battle to keep yourself out of the tyre barriers as it is to get it back onto the racetrack.
It's so easy on that section going up into it's basically, that is lucky heights just as you go in, because you're carrying so much speed and the corners on a ever increasing tightening radius, and you just miss your braking point by a couple of feet and you're going to be glancing off that barrier just like Adam.
And he's just gone off again there. Adam Powell is suffering now in that number 38 machine. It looks as though perhaps he got himself a lot more bodywork damage, a lot more suspension damage than we might have thought earlier on in that number 38 machine. As I was just about to say, the Talk Racing Summer Super Cup will be here at Phillip Island this Saturday. Our coverage starts at 7:30 PM GMT, involving the Corvette and the 4GTs. As we're looking at Adam Parr still, just for a moment, really that 38 car is struggling now, and with less than 10 minutes left to go, and he was at the start of this lap about as he's just gone off again. He's right into the wall there. That is going to be terminal, and I think he is out of the race now on that 38 machine. But if you're one of those cars, you can get yourself a little bit of damage to that right front side. How do you coast that car home to the line? Is it just a case of getting out of the throttle earlier, turning that wheel a little bit more? I mean, is there a way of taking that car back home to the line in a car with so much horsepower as a Cadillac?
Yeah, you just got to baby it round. Sometimes it's better to park it and not risk hitting anyone else, because once cars become unsettled, they're quite difficult to control after they've got some front end wheel damage on them. And
down still is Jewelry Race leader in the number 37 machine with Adam Terry, almost 8 seconds behind now in the number 17 car. Marseille Mayo, after having himself an off-track moment early on, has worked himself back up into the 3rd position with Nico Brandt in 4th and a clear 5th position. Sam Goma in 6th. Mabbott in 10th, and then in the supercars it is Rens Brokenman from Thomas Van Boesel, Miles Christensen, Andy Goodison, Peter Ridley, then Dave Guymer, Andy Streetley, Andy Griffiths, Robert Burton and William Pioneer running out your top 10.
Yeah, it's we're on Darren at the moment, and he's got a good 8 seconds lead over Adam. This is a big enough gap to bring it home. I can't see anyone really bothering him. Marcello's managed to get back up to 3rd place after that. Do you think he could catch up with Terry by the end? Let's have a look at their lap times.
Yeah, I mean, Marcelo Mayo's last lap time was a 1 minute 31.270. Adam Terry's was a 1 minute 31.456. So, unless Terry makes a mistake, I think he is safe in that 2nd position for the time being. Obviously, however, mistakes on this racetrack cost you about 4 or 5 seconds instantaneously.
Sorry about that, and Guyman's just dropped. He's gone.
Bye-bye, Simon Guymer, and that is going to be disappointing there for the number 75 machine of Simon Guymer, driving for the Team Shark, one of the more famous teams here in the Talking Racing Touring Car Championship. They've had themselves some great finishes in the past few weeks, and I'm sure Simon Guymer will not be happy about that, because that's not the first either.
I've just been back and watched, and he's literally just parked it, and yeah, obviously some issues there, and Andy Kay was off again.
If I can interrupt. Simon Guymer clipped Robert Burton. He spun. I think he had suspension damage.
So a Team Shark versus Team Shark. It's not the sort of thing you want to be doing, running over your teammates. So yes, they're running in different classes, but you don't want to have a caddy running over a V8. You don't want to have a teammate running over a teammate, and that's not the sort of thing these guys will be looking for as we're approaching the last two races of the season next week.
Yeah, it's really important to score as many points in these last few races, because everyone's going to be charging as hard as possible. Team Sharks had a few blue-on-blue incidences in the last few races. I think they had one at Silverstone, and I know they had one at Sebring. So yeah.
And that really is surprising for the Team Shark guys, because normally they are referred to as the most safest drivers in the series. And don't forget, next week the Talking Racing Touring Car Championship will be coming to you from Mosport. So if you thought that Phillip Island was bad when you go off track, you have got to wait until next weekend, because next Tuesday the Talking Racing Touring Car Championship will come to you from Mosport. You go off track and you will literally, David, be running off into a tyre barrier.
Yeah, the first corner is quite classic for incidents, just because of the way that you have to brake. When you're braking on the crest, and the car becomes so light that when you're braking, the car goes light, lifts over, you're going downhill, you're trying to brake even more, and if you touch that crash, you're going into that tyre barrier.
And yes, I did say next weekend. I didn't mean next Tuesday. Same time, same place here on Glacier TV. I apologise. What are you going to do? But I really have to say, Andy Kerstoff, I've been surprised by him today, because in practice when I've seen him, that car has been perfectly settled. But I think that number 43 machine, it's really been balanced on the ragged edge, and we're seeing Kerstoff really, really close to really wrecking that car. And it looks as though now, in the latter part of this race, he really is just cruising it home to the flag, because his lap times have dropped from 1 minute 31.5 all the way down to 1 minute 32s.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of thought he's not going to catch up with Nico. We're in the last few minutes of this race now, and he's not going to catch up with Nico. And even if he does catch him, has he got the car to get by? And he might have the skill, but again, you need the car underneath you to be able to perform that move.
Roger Cronin is off the racetrack in turn number 4, and that is going to be a huge disappointment there for Roger Cronin, who was really doing himself a good job here in this race. And I don't know, that's not the sort of thing we expect to see from Roger Cronin there.
No, it's not. I think he's trying to push hard from the earlier incident, and yeah, I think he's got a little bit of damage on the car, so yeah, it's not like him at all.
Meanwhile, Darren Seal in the number 37 machine, we haven't talked about him much here today. He is a full 8 seconds ahead of Adam Terry in the number 17 car, and that is not the sort of gap we would used to see in the Touring Car Championship this season. And I'll bring Frederick Follisat back into this for a moment. If you were sat 8 seconds ahead of the driver ahead of you, and you've got yourself literally, a lap and a half left to go, how does that affect your mindset coming into this last lap, especially as you're starting to overtake some V8 drivers?
Oh, 8 seconds with 1 lap to go is brilliant. And then you're just happy and just glad to lose 3 seconds by being cautious. So that's not. But I'm looking at Mayo. He's closing fast. He's taken a couple of seconds in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to catch up with Terry towards the end of this.
Yeah, Marcel Mayo's last lap time was a 1 at 32.012. You compare that to Adam Terry, 1 at 32.246. It's going to be close. I don't think Mayo's going to do it unless he can force Adam Terry in that number 17 machine into a mistake. And what we've seen this season so far, Frederick, Terry really hasn't been a driver who you can push off the racetrack that easily.
No.
And so I just had it in our ear there that Broekman was involved in a moment there. It looks like he has, just having a look, he still kept the lead for the moment, but I believe that Broekman is involved in just a little moment there with Roger Cronin, I believe. Apologies if I got that wrong. But what that has done is that Thomas and Booster close right up to the rear of him as we come down into the final 2 laps of this race. Final lap almost now, because the clock is about to run out. And for Van Boekel, this could be that last lap opportunity he really needs.
Yeah, this is the last lap, so Van Boekel needs to get on Brockman's bumper and see if he can do something about it. But I'm just going to quickly flick over, and you can see now Adam Terry has been held up by one of the V8 back markers, and this is going to give Marcel a chance now.
And at the same time, Darren Seal comes down now, past the start-finish line. Darren Seal is going to win round 10 of the Talking Racing Touring Car Championship after a great weekend for Britain in the last couple of races. Darren Seal completes that once again. The number 37 machine taking victory here after coming third at Silverstone just 1 week ago. And I think Darren Seal really deserves that victory. A dominant performance by him. Adam Terry comes home in second. Marcel Mayo just comes home in the third position. And he was only 3 taps off as they came past the start-finish line. Nico Brand, he comes home in fourth. Randy Karastov coming home in the 5th position. Ian Maverick just come across the line in 6th, and Roger Cronin in 6th. We're now waiting for Roger Cronin, and David, it has been a great drive from Rens Broekman in the V8 car as he is now in the final corner of this lap.
Yeah, and here's Rens Broekman to take number 10 out of 10 wins. Phenomenal driving by him, but you can't take anything away from Van Boekel, who was second. He put Broekman under a lot of pressure, and then we've got Chris leading up behind them in the other VTS, and Mario Kunnesen is coming up in a well-deserved 3rd place. Andy Goodison just coming into the last corner now, and he'll be taking 4th, and Peter Ridley is just coming down off Lucky Heights into turn 10, and he'll be coming up into 5th place. And then we get onto the likes of David Geimer, Andrew Streetley, who's just rolling around, Andy Griffiths, Robert Burton, William Piner, and Phil Juice.
And I have to say, as a former team manager, drivers like Andrew Streetley, Andy Griffiths, I mean, they've just been here week in, week out. They've not fought themselves in top 5 positions because of their car, but they really have got themselves some very solid positions. And these are some drivers that, give themselves a couple of, seasons in the Top Gear Racing Touring Car Championship, and I've got a feeling they really could be up there.
Yeah, it's just it's just like Darren. I think these guys just need a little bit more track time, a little bit more time on the car and getting it set up and working out its little tricks that it has. And yeah, they'll be up there fighting for some podium positions.
So, Silver Crown and sprint car drivers rejoice. Darren Seal in the number 37 machine wins here at Phillip Island with a time of 30 minutes, 34 seconds, .871. Adam Terry a full 8.2 seconds behind him in the second position. Marseille Mayo comes home a further 0.3 of a second behind in the third position. Nico Brandt in fourth, Andy Kerrishoff in fourth, in fifth even. Ian Babbitt in sixth, Roger Cronin in sixth, Chris Partridge in seventh, Adam Powell in eighth, Simon Geimer ran in ninth, and then Sean Lees, Kevin Riekmans and Terry Dalberg, and then in your V8 Supercar class, Rens Broekman takes home the checker flag once again. Let's find out some way of putting him into a separate class. Thomas Van Boesel in second, Marius Christensen in third, Andy Goodson in fourth, Peter Ridley in fifth, Dave Geimer in sixth, Andrew Streetley in seventh, Andy Griffiths in eighth, Robert Burton in ninth, William Pioneer, a good job by him in 10th, Phil Jocelyn in 11th, BMJ in 12th, disappointing performance for him, Danny Bowles in 13th, and Simon Hill running out your V8 field. And I'll come to you, David. Who is your driver of the race?
Easy one, Darren Seal. Without a doubt, just kept his head together while everyone was losing theirs. Just pounded out the laps and showed he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And in the V8 class?
In the V8, Rens Brockman, undoubtedly the king of V8s at the moment. He's 10 out of 10 wins. Fantastic drive by him, and he just seems to soak up the pressure, no problem.
Frederick, seeing as I needs to refresh myself on nicotine. Same again, V8 and Kenny driver. Who's your best driver of the race today?
I know it's boring, but I agree with Mr. Ward. It's boring to pick the winners, but in this race, I think so. Yeah.
And Mr. Sutherland, we haven't heard from you all race long. This is your 30 seconds of fame. Top drivers of the race.
I agree with Frederick.
But you don't agree with Mr. Ward?
I will give a notable mention to Adam Terry as well. His excellent finish has taken him up to second in the Caddy Championship as well.
And I just remembered, Mr. Ward, you said that you're going to say something at the end of the race that you didn't say. Carry on.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Team Afterburn for the support.
I tell you what, I've had to pay him at least $50 to say that. We've given him so much. Yeah, I'm not even going to go there. Meanwhile, Yoni Backman, we haven't talked to you at all this race. Top drivers in the V8 class and the Caddy class. Go ahead.
Derp. Do I have to be original or? Well, I'll just be original. I'll just say V8 of the race would be Thomas Van Boesel, since he was the only one who was able to keep up with Rens, and Cadillac of the race, Roger Cronin.
And we'd like to say hello to Mr. Chris Partridge. Chris, I can say some better things about your race, but you came home, you did a good job in that number 3 machine, but it was a bit of a difficult race for you today.
Yeah, I was just basically pleased that I started ahead of Rens and got off the line, and he shot off in front of me. I don't know how he managed that. And it was my first sort of standing start, so I was a bit nervous about that. I just waited for a potential pile-up into turn 1. That didn't happen, so just pushed on and just as usual forged my own happy little race. He got in front of me from the start, and then I think 3 or 4 laps later, I think he let me by, and I just did my own little thing, and had a little coming together at one corner with somebody else, but that was all right. But yeah, 8 is not bad for me, so I'm quite pleased with that.
And can you enlighten us in any way, shape or form to what we like to call the radical curse?
It will.
Well, in the way that every time we talk about the radicals, they seem to mess up immediately, or every time they end up on track, we seem to do something that makes them mess up immediately.
It makes the races interesting.
I have to say, however, it's been a good race for Mr. Keresov getting a top 5 finish. A good race for Adam Terry as well. And I have to say, the Radical guys, they really committed to this Tokyo Racing Touring Car Championship. And with your performances in the Grand Am Series as well, we'll move aside from the Tokyo Racing for a moment, is your performances in the Grand Am Series as well, and in the F1 class, the DWC Series. I mean, it has overall been a really good series for the Steel Series team.
Indeed, and it's not just within iRacing as well. We had 2 drivers who got through to the finals of the GT Academy competition, so that was really good. And one I think finished 4th and one finished 12th out of their respective countries. So it's a really good showing from the team, and everybody should be proud of what they've done.
And we didn't talk about it enough last Sunday at Indianapolis, but I'll tell you what, Blakey did a great job in the Red Bull, whatever it was called, Forza Motorsport, bullcrap, whatever it was. But, I mean, Blake Townend's one of the big drivers coming up, not only in the iRacing series, but in the simulation driving series as well. And you guys have got yourselves a lot of talent to look forward to in the next couple of years. And, I mean, how's that team going to develop as we come into the next couple of, seasons? Because you really got yourself some good talent, and you guys have really been there or thereabouts every single race.
Yeah, I think so. I think, I've been a bit of a newbie to the team, but I get the sense that sort of this is the year that the team is taking part in more races as a team in different series, and just push that forward next year, develop on that, and above all, have fun and move forward.
Well, congratulations on your finish. I know it wasn't what you're expecting. And also to anyone who think Blake Townsend didn't do a good job at Red Bull thingy, if you put him in iRacing, he would have done a much better job. Moving swiftly on to Marseille and Mayo, you had yourself an interesting race, but congratulations on your 3rd place finish. And it seems as though we have unfortunately lost Marseille for the time being. We're going to see if we can get him back. But in the meantime, we'll start with David. Closing thoughts?
Yeah, fantastic race. Darren Seal, awesome driving by him. Rens Brockman, without doubt, one of the best V8 drivers around. Can't discredit Van Boosel too much, but it'd be nice to see him beat him one day. And it was a good race. Well done to everyone.
And Frederick, for the start, I mean, we were supposed to talk to you a lot more, but your thoughts on this race today?
It was a good race as usual in this series. There was a lot of crashing, more than usual, so I probably missed most of it. There was so much happening. But I'm happy to see Darren win the race. He showed last week that he has pace, so that was cool.
And we're going to Mosport next week. Is Mosport going to be a similar performance for these drivers compared to Phillip Island, or are we going to see some different drivers coming to the fold?
I have no idea. I do expect Marcelo to be much quicker next week. Yeah.
And then go on.
Are you going to be racing Frederick?
Yes, I am back for Mosport.
So it's going to be Frederick, Darren, and Marcelo flying.
And then I'm going to take you 2 weeks ahead to Road Atlanta. That track is what I like to call as the devil's work and crazy. What's your opinions going into that race in 2 weeks' time?
Well, I'm always negative when you talk about tracks. Like, I don't like this track. But Road Atlanta is easily one of my favorite tracks. It looks boring on paper, but it's an awesome track. So, definitely looking forward to that.
Jenna Batman, any closing words? Nope.
Nope.
Okay, in that case, it's time for us to say goodnight. For all of you people who'd like to keep in touch what we are broadcasting here on Glacier TV, don't forget to go to glaciertv.com for all the latest information. We got ourselves the Big Dot Racing Bristol 125 tonight, later on tonight here on Glacier TV. We've also got ourselves the Tall Freak Racing Summer Super Cup at Phillip Island on Saturday. The Afterbed IndyCar Series will be coming to you from Zandvoort this Sunday, and then the Tall Freak Racing Touring Car Championship will be from Mosport. Same time, same place here on Glacier TV. Meanwhile, it's time from myself, from Mike Sutherland, from David Ward, from Ian Batman, and everyone at Glacier TV to say goodnight.
Good night.